morning of day 3 of our Ruby Crest trail adventure. It was a lot warmer last night, which was nice. The equipment I had was perfect for last night. So today is our longest miles. I don't know if they're going to be the hardest. I think that was yesterday. But today's definitely the biggest section. Looking forward to it. We'll be actually on the crest all day today. So we're kind of debating back and forth today about camping another night like we planned, or making it a real long day and getting back to the car and having like an actual day off at home before we have to go back to work tomorrow. I'm leaning towards camping another night because I really like it here, but having a day off sounds pretty good too. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and we're heading off for a big day of hiking at 11.3 miles today. Right out of the gate this morning, we gave up all of our elevation. In about 10 minutes here, we'll start up some switchbacks and gain it all back plus 1,000 feet. Everything I read and all the research I did said this part of the trail was totally dry. Granted, we're only about a half an hour into our walk. And here's a beautiful little spring. So, if you come out this way and you don't want to load up on water at Overland Lake, you can load up here. Sounds like we're coming up to our second water source on this supposedly dry section of trail. Granted, these may not be totally reliable all year round, but this one looks pretty good. I don't need any water. I filled up at camp, but here it is. It's 9 o'clock, an hour into walking, and we've gained almost all the elevation back that we lost this morning. Hiking's actually been pretty easy. Pretty well graded, not a lot of huge switchbacks. Looking forward to the rest of the day. A lot of climbing in this last section. You can see Tyrus up there hitting a switchback. Eventually, we're going to be up there. Feels like a long way to go. So we thought this was the top of the ridge, but that is the top of the ridge. Onward and upward. First real break of the day. Sitting down here at 8,898 feet above sea level. Found a little patch of shade, eat some food, drink some water. Only 2,000 more feet of elevation to gain. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day. At the top of the first big peak for the day. That's where we need to be. So, I think earlier I said 2,000 feet, but hunger made me exaggerate. It's really only 1,200 feet. debating camping at either Favre Lake or Furlong Lake all trip. And Favre would be a shorter walk, it's 11.3. Furlong would put us at a 13-mile day, but I think we'll get more solitude at Furlong. We'll see what happens. Up another big pass today. It's been kind of a roller coaster all day. We get up over 10,000 feet, drop down another 200 feet, go up, to like 10.6, drop down, go back up to like 10.7, drop down. The whole day's been, well, not the whole day, but since our first lunch break, we've been above 10,000 feet the whole time. Getting used to the air, which is nice. These uphill stretches are wearing on this old man. Hiking with a much younger person reminds me. I am 46, and if we're being honest, a little bit overweight. Friend again. He's got a buddy. Gosh, I wish I could zoom in closer. They are so cool. There's 3 of them up there. So that big guy behind me is Wines Peak. We'll be over 10,500 feet when we're at the top of it. And thankfully, it is our last big climb of the day. And then we go down to Furlong Lake and swim and eat and rest. You would think, with all that space, they could have made one switchback. And here we are, at the top of Wines Peak, 10,858-ish feet above sea level. I think this is the tallest peak we'll hit today. It's kind of neat looking back. Behind me there you can see all the ones that we've gone up and down all day. Pretty much downhill from here to whichever lake we decide to camp at, either Furlong or Favre. I'm leaning towards Furlong because it's closer. Today to see some wild goats or some bighorn sheep. So far, all we've seen is a couple of hawks and some chipmunks. It may be one of the most weathered trail markers I've ever come across. We're heading down the North Furlong Trail to Furlong Lake to see if it's someplace we could camp. We've met several people along the trail, and it seems like they're all camping at Favre. So, hoping for a little solitude. There's a beautiful little creek that runs straight down this canyon. So, worst comes to worst, we can just find a flat spot and we'll have plenty of access to water. So here is Furlong Lake, or what's left of it.
Looks like it's dried up pretty much. The discussion now is to walk back just a few yards and camp next to the creek, or carry on to Favre. We've decided to let fate decide where we're going to camp tonight. Tyrus has a penny. Heads, we walk 0.4 miles back up to the cowboy camp where the North Furlong Trail and the Ruby Crest Trail intersect. Tails, we go to Favre Lake.
Tails.
Tails, the lake it is.
This is our home for the night at Favre Lake. Yeah, Favre Lake has pretty easy access. It's a easy 5-mile hike. You can drive right up to a paved parking lot. So it has all the problems that places with easy access tend to have. Like fire pits full of trash. The trash gets to me. And so now Tyrus and I have extra garbage to carry out tomorrow that we didn't generate. We had our side trip to Furlong for a campsite that didn't pan out. We ended up walking 15.3 miles. Most of it was really exposed. There was very little shade. I was joking earlier about it not being that dry because we crossed 3 creeks in the first half hour, but after those 3 creeks there was nothing. It was bone dry. We walked for almost 10 hours total. We took a couple of big breaks, half-hour, 45-minute breaks along the way. But yeah, it's been a 10-hour day. I'm not going to swim in Favre Lake. It's just too late in the day and I'm too tired. Pretty happy with everything we've accomplished though. We're 5 miles away from completing the Ruby Crest Trail. Tomorrow should be a pretty easy day. There's 1 pass, just short miles back to the car. Really excited about how this whole trip panned out, and I'm gonna go watch the sunset and make my dinner and go to bed. And I always save my favorite meal for the last night of any hike. Outdoor herbivore cheddar mac is my favorite thing to eat on the trail. And this time I'm accenting it with dehydrated soy curls that are cold soaking. It's gonna be a good dinner.